The day my parents announced the family inheritance, everyone gathered around the dining table with excited smiles. My older brother, Daniel, leaned back confidently. He already believed everything belonged to him. My younger sister whispered about buying a beach house. My mother looked at me for only a second before saying, "We've decided that Daniel should inherit the family business. He's always been the one we trust." The room filled with applause. Then my father added, "As for Olivia, we've already helped you enough." I almost laughed. Help me. I had worked in our family's furniture factory for 12 years. I skipped vacations, missed birthdays, worked weekends without overtime. Whenever the company struggled, I stayed late fixing problems while Daniel disappeared to expensive parties. Yet somehow he was the future. I quietly stood up. "If that's your decision," I said calmly, "I won't argue." Nobody stopped me from leaving. Not even my parents. That night I packed a suitcase and moved into a tiny apartment. The silence hurt more than the betrayal. For months I ignored every family gathering. Nobody called. Nobody cared. Life became simple. Work, sleep, repeat. Then on my 33rd birthday an old delivery driver knocked on my apartment door. He carried a small wooden box wrapped in faded blue paper. "There was a note," he said. "It says your grandmother wanted you to receive this only if your family ever abandoned you." My heart raced. Grandma had passed away 7 years earlier. Inside the box was an old silver key, a faded birthday card, and a handwritten message. "Real treasure is never kept where greedy people look." That was all. No address. No explanation. Just those words. I searched every corner of the box until I noticed something carved underneath. 3 numbers. September 17th, 42. At first they meant nothing. Then I remembered. Grandma always stored important papers inside lockers at the old train station. The numbers looked exactly like a locker code. The next morning I drove there. Most of the lockers had been replaced years ago. But one dusty row remained untouched. Locker 42. The station manager looked surprised when I showed him the key. "No one has opened this in years." Inside sat a metal case. My hands trembled as I unlocked it. There were photographs, company contracts, property deeds, and one sealed envelope addressed to me. The letter explained everything. Years earlier, Grandpa had secretly purchased 40% of the family factory. Instead of giving those shares to my parents, he transferred them into a trust controlled by Grandma. She had watched how each grandchild treated people. Daniel only visited when he wanted money. My sister called only on holidays. I was the only one who spent weekends helping Grandpa repair furniture after his retirement. Grandma had never forgotten. According to the documents, I now legally owned 40% of the business. I stared at the papers in complete disbelief. That same afternoon I visited the company's legal office. The attorney carefully reviewed every document. After nearly an hour he smiled. "Congratulations. You're now the largest single shareholder." I blinked. "What about my father?" "He owns 35%. Your brother owns 15%. The remaining shares belong to outside investors." I wasn't just an employee anymore. I had the deciding vote. News spread through the company within hours. By evening my phone exploded with missed calls. Mother, father, Daniel, even cousins who hadn't spoken to me in years. I ignored everyone. The following Monday the board called an emergency meeting. Daniel walked in wearing his usual expensive suit. He froze when he saw me sitting beside the chairman. "What is she doing here?" The chairman slid the ownership documents across the table. Daniel laughed. "This has to be fake." The company lawyer answered instead. "They're completely valid." Silence filled the room. Then came another surprise. The financial director requested permission to present an audit. Over the past 3 years, thousands of expensive purchases had been charged to the company. Luxury watches, sports cars, private vacations, designer furniture. Every payment had been approved by Daniel. My parents had signed many of them without asking questions. The losses totaled nearly $12 million. Daniel immediately blamed everyone else. It was for business. The receipts told a different story. One invoice listed a private island vacation. Another showed jewelry worth more than most employees earned in 5 years. The board members looked furious. A vote was held. Daniel was removed as executive director. My father remained silent. For the first time in my life. He looked ashamed. After the meeting, he stopped me in the parking lot. We made mistakes. I nodded. You did. Can we fix this? I looked at the factory behind him. Hundreds of workers depended on that business. This company deserves better than family favoritism. Weeks later, I became the new CEO. But my first decision shocked everyone. Instead of firing employees who had supported Daniel, I created a transparent promotion system. Every position would now be earned through performance. No family privileges. No secret bonuses. No special treatment. Employees celebrated. Productivity improved almost immediately. Customers returned. Profits doubled within a year. One afternoon, while organizing Grandma's papers, I discovered another envelope. Inside was a photograph of Grandpa standing beside the very first chair he had built by hand. On the back, Grandma had written, "The strongest furniture is built with honest wood. The strongest family is built with honest hearts." I framed the picture and hung it in my office. Months later, Daniel asked to meet. He no longer wore expensive suits. "I need a job," he admitted quietly. "You could have me arrested." I looked at him carefully. "Do you want money? Or a chance to change?" He lowered his eyes. "A chance." I offered him an entry-level warehouse position. No executive office. No company car. No special treatment. "If you work hard for 1 year," I said, "you'll earn every promotion yourself." For the first time, he accepted without complaining. My parents struggled to adjust. They often apologized for choosing favorites. I listened. But trust returned slowly, one honest action at a time. 3 years later, the factory became one of the most respected furniture companies in the country. Employees proudly brought their children to annual company events. No one cared whose last name appeared on the building. They cared that everyone was treated fairly. During our anniversary celebration, the chairman handed me a small package. Inside was Grandma's old silver key. "I think this belongs in your office now," he smiled. I placed it beside Grandpa's photograph. Visitors often asked why an ordinary key sat inside a glass case. I always answered the same way. Because it never unlocked a locker. It unlocked the truth. Looking back, I realized my family never truly stole my future. They only delayed it. The greatest revenge wasn't becoming richer than them. It wasn't taking control of the company. It wasn't watching Daniel lose his title. The greatest revenge was proving that kindness, patience, and honesty could build something greed never could. My parents once believed success belonged to the loudest child. Grandma knew it belonged to the one who quietly kept showing up when nobody was watching. And in the end, her forgotten birthday gift became the one thing that changed all our lives forever.